Hey everybody, it's Chris, and tonight we're going to be looking at the second of 3 Trilogy Challenge discs for 2018. Today we're going to be looking at the mid-range from dynamic discs. It's going to be the Patrol. Patrol is a very understable mid-range for most arms. If you're a very low-speed arm, maybe you're going to get straight lines out of it, but in general, you're probably going to have to power it down to get it to go straight, which makes it very shapeable in the woods. For comparison purposes, you're going to see it in the field and also on the course, thrown against the Warrant. The Warrant is also an understable disc, but I think in this video you're going to see the Patrol is kind of on a different level. A little bit sharper wing, a little bit heavier dome. You can see the curve of the wing a little bit more here. Now for comparison, for transparency, the Patrols that I tested were 173 and 168, which normally is going to make a disc more understable, but I think even at a 178 level, even the difference between the 168 and the 173, which I could see, was very minimal. So I think even at the 178, 179 level, this disc is still going to be more understable than a Warrant. But I haven't tested the 178, so I want to make sure I'm clear on that. That said, the 173 and the 168, super flippy, super usable, very enjoyable to throw, which you're going to see in the video. So if you have any questions or comments, please, as always, put it below. But otherwise, I'm going to go to the film, because I'm actually having trouble talking. I've been sick for a little while, so I'm going to go to the film and talk there. Put the questions below so I can get back to you. And as always, I appreciate you watching. Thanks. So here we go out to the course. First target's about 225 feet. Directly ahead in the right side behind the trees. I'm going to throw these discs both fairly light. They'll flip up to flat. You'll see the Patrol drift just a tiny bit more before flattening out, whereas the Warrant goes fairly straight at this power level. Here's a corrected shot on the Patrol, just a little more tilt, and this one's going to go right toward the basket. Here we are in hole 2. Again, low power shot. I think this one's about 260, 270. The Warrant is going to flip up flat, drift right, a little bit and end up a little short, whereas the Patrol is going to carry up into within 15 feet. Here's a Patrol on just a low power shot. You can see how it holds that gentle turn before settling down nicely up near the basket. Here we go out to the field. Flat shot. This is what the Patrol likes to do. It just drifts right on low power. Of course, if you power it up, compared to the Warrant here, you'll be able to see both of them are going to drift right, but the Warrant is going to pan because it's a little more stable and it'll be able to flatten out, whereas the Patrol is going to come down almost looking like a forehand shot and cut roll. One of my new favorite shots with the Patrol are these easy tech rollers. They get down really fast. They're not going to go too far. You'll see it's going to cut over to the right and be within 18 feet. The next one's actually going to end up within 5 on the corrected line. But you'll get to see more of these. I mean, this is an open field tech roller. I'm going to show you some in the woods later in the video. Here's another comparison. Both discs will be put on a high turnover line. I want to apologize because they're going to kind of disappear out of view. You can get them if you really look close. But the Warrant here is actually a little bit faster, so it's going to go long of the target, whereas the Patrol is going to be almost pin high. Again, here's just another Patrol shot, put up high. You can see with that extra little bit of speed, it's going to come down almost looking like a forehand throw, and of course the disc is spinning the other direction, so it'll cut roll out. And here's a high power shot. It's going to hyzer flip up. I put a lot of height on this. I put a lot of hyzer on it. You can see how much it turns out before it finally catches just a touch of stability on that long throw. Here's a comparison. This Truth is actually one of my normal understable throwers, and you'll be able to see here on this very similar line just how different the stability in these two discs are. The Truth is going to pop up and go straight and actually fade out after that straight line, whereas the Patrol is going to drift really far right on this. Here we go again with the Warrant, and I do want to account for the fact that the Warrant is thrown a little bit more right and a little bit higher, so it's going to stall faster. You'll be able to see, if you can see them in the clouds, the Patrol dips that right wing and actually drifts all the way to the right of the basket before finishing, whereas the Warrant is going to drift, catch its stability, and fade just to the left of the basket at the last second. Alright, so here's the longer tunnel with a hard right turn at the end. Both of these discs will be thrown too low. You'll see the Patrol is put out a little bit more to the left, and the Warrant is tipped a little bit more, and they're going to actually finish in pretty similar areas because of how hard the Patrol does turn. Here's the corrected Patrol throw, higher, a little bit straighter, and it's going to drift right over to the basket. And then here on the hole 3, both are supposed to be just gentle throws. I'm actually going to throw the Warrant much better. You'll see it's going to start a little more left before curling back and ending up near the basket, whereas the Patrol is sent right down the middle and ends up really far right. On this comparison, both discs will be thrown fairly low. Warrant's going to start a little bit more left. What you're going to see is, even with that tilt, the Warrant's going to hold straight just a little bit longer than the Patrol, whereas the Patrol is just going to drift right almost the entire time. On this throw, both are going to be thrown fairly low power. You're going to see the Warrant stays lower and is thrown just a little more tilt, and so it's going to just cut directly toward the basket, whereas the Patrol with the extra height is just going to drift right and actually end up long of the pin on the right side. For one of the only times in this comparison, I actually gave the Warrant a really good line in this throw. It's going to have the proper height to just drift over to the basket, settled nicely, whereas the Patrol is going to be thrown low, and you're going to see it try to fight right, it just never has the height to get there. So now for just a little bit of fun on the course, throw out to the left, that beautiful right turn, it's going to hit right next to the pin and just roll a little ways away, but well placed. And here are those tech rollers I was talking about. Here's in the woods, very tight line. I'm just going to throw it out to the right, let it bounce down the gap. It ends up 45 feet long, but it got all the way through, which is almost miraculous for me on this hole. And here again, tight tunnel, just release it, get it down fast, let it get to the right side. It's going to run up the right side of the tunnel, end up again about 45 feet long. Here you get to see me out in the putt, 40-45 feet. Managed to make this one. That doesn't always happen, but, you know, those new maidens fly pretty well into the basket, so you always have an opportunity even from the distance. As we wrap up, the Patrol is a very understable mid-range. It's going to be a fantastic addition to the Dynamic Discs mid lineup. It's more understable than a Warrant. As you can see here, you can give it just a touch of power with some height and some turn, and it's going to drift right for you for days. You saw the tech rollers, you saw the flip-up throws. This is going to be a good disc for beginners and a fun one for advanced players. If you like this review or found it useful, please feel free to like it, share it, give it a thumbs up, or even subscribe to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and have a great day.